process of evolution. This may occur in one or more of the following ways. Firstly, by selective mating,
She's
in
like
which a single
15
gene type
here?
proves
What the
superior
fuck?
in transmitting its genes to future generations. Secondly,
I'm turning this off, dude. What the fuck? Why? Why? America. Yeah, who puts their pants on like that? What's wrong with you? I don't know. I don't have a ton to say about it other than it's just like it's just dog whistles. It's like very loud dog whistles. And yeah, anyone who's too into like genetic predetermination is a fascist. Or at least has like obvious fascist tendencies and a misunderstanding of science and a willingness to weaponize that science in societal like situations. Which is fascism. Or at least the defining predisposition to it.
If you want to create a summer sensation, consider organizing a regular ice chipping challenge. Just freeze some common drinks, ice cream, fruits, or toys into large blocks of ice. On event day, neatly
I was looking for a way to feel better, and now I have it. Thank you, Eric Adams.
display them outdoors with a signboard and provide small hammers. The activity costs 10 won for 20 minutes. Whatever participants manage to chip out, they get to keep. This type of event is low cost, helps beat the heat, and livens up the atmosphere. It's a great idea for farms or campsites to adopt. I've compiled a list of 100 summer activity ideas for farms. Xiaohongshu.
Awesome.
If you
The world is letting us become more brain rotted than we should have ever been allowed. Has anyone talked about this? Maybe Rhizome. Because, like, hearing Eric Adams say Xiaohongshu, that's innovation. That's what that's the best Silicon Valley's got, other than fucking AI surveillance and drone programs for the military. Can't even make a new phone anymore. Did you see Mexico has announced a new proposal for a 40-hour work week instead of 48? Yeah, I did see that. Common Mexico W. We didn't even... I was so, like, I can't follow anything they're talking about. Viral isn't the gift Jesus is.
I feel like so often Ari and I come on here and we're like, guys, you don't need a podcast. You don't need a podcast. Trust me, you don't want to be famous. Trust me, you don't want this. And it can probably sound so silly coming from two people with a big podcast sitting here with cameras, but like we try so hard to let them know, no, we're telling you. Like the greatest ministry moments that I have had as I'm sitting here, we're recording an episode. Our amazing producer who's been with us now for 2 years, who you just met, who God has been chipping away at his heart for 2 years. He's sitting in that booth all this time and God is just like slowly working in his heart. We have an episode and he literally comes in the room at one point and he's like,
yeah, we covered the homeless thing. Previously this month, DHS gained control of Medicaid data. Earlier this year, they claimed autistic individuals can't care for themselves. It's clear what's happening. Look up 1933 Nazi laws called Law Against Dangerous and Habitual Criminals and Law for Prevention of Hereditarily Diseased Offspring. Yeah, I mean, very similar shit. From RFK to like Matt Miller. Referring to like the severity of the policies, right? Like, this is why I'm avoiding a diagnosis. Trust me, it gets easy to avoid a diagnosis once you get older too. At a certain point, they just don't even take you seriously if you think you're autistic and you're an adult. Which is hilarious.
I can't believe this. Like, I literally just read what you're talking about this morning. God is speaking to me. So we see him have this like experience and encounter where the Lord is like, we're doing all this, sure, but like he's working right there. And then everybody leaves. We record an amazing episode that 100,000 people are going to watch. And that's beautiful and significant. Totally. But I get to sit right there with our producer, lead him to the Lord, pray. The tangible presence of God is in this room. And it is like the closest to heaven I've probably ever been in my life. And I remember leaving that day, calling everybody probably I know, being like, I've done so many cool things. And still, even after the last 2 years of our life where we've been blessed beyond belief to do the things we do, it's moments like that.
Yep.
I feel like so often.
I don't get it.
Don't be rude.
What's the point? Moms need the secret place?
I'm thinking about Jesus when he fed the 5,000 and he's exhausted and he has nothing left in him. Did he go to his friends and say, hey, I need to talk to you? He withdrew. He went up to the mountain to the Father and he got filled up.
Yeah.
So if he needed to get filled up, he was the perfect example of what he did when he was exhausted and he got filled up. If he does that, we need to do that. And as I say that, I just think about you moms, especially, who are so busy. It's probably, I don't know because we're not moms, but I can only imagine because I watch my friends how hard it is to be a mom.
Yeah.
And you're like running on empty every day. You're never thinking about yourself. You're always thinking about your children. And so you have no time. And I think we got a question too of, I am a mom, I don't have any time. Like totally. I only have time to worship in the car. And that's beautiful. And sometimes we are so busy and we don't have 2 hours to spend. But I think the secret place is a sacrifice.
Totally.
And I think that we always can make time. And I don't want to offend moms because I'm not one, but there's like a sacrifice. Like even, you're like, I know, but I need my sleep. But even waking up
father
super...
thinks RFK has no ulterior motive and is right about autism. Chemicals or something is causing extra autism and we need to fix it. Also, I think Republicans have great financial policies. Anyways, love you pissers.
If your dad is Gen X, just tell him to look up how much lead was in the air and water when he was growing up. And what that kind of predisposition, or what that kind of exposure does to your predisposition to pass down autism. Just look that up. 2 facts. Lead content, what lead does to your sperms. Simple as. Gen Z's hella autistic. And it's also because we've changed the diagnostic criteria over time. But that has to do with it too. Like, Americans were mass poisoned for like a whole generation, if not more. Anonymous user, thank you for the gifted sub to Max Confused. Thank you, Sniper. Brave pisser soldier. Yeah, I have that video saved. How the U.S. lost part of their minds. Pennyception. Thank you for the 6 months. Yeah, we have a lot of love for lead in this chat.
Early, like he will fill you and he will empower you when you dwell in the secret place. And then you'll end up being like, wait a minute, I don't even need sleep like that. It's like fasting when you fast and you're so hungry, but then you get past that point because Jesus sustains you. And then you're like, I don't even need food like that.
Exactly.
So I think
Thank you for saying that.
It's a sacrifice. I'm thinking
like metaphorical food, right? Okay, I can't. Girls Gone Bible. I can't with this anymore. What the hell? Sponsored by Jesus? Come on. How do they have 1 million followers? That's fucking absurd. Sexual sin will kill you. Obedience builds faith.
You guys did an episode where you were pretty candid and you talked about sexual purity being like a struggle.
sin is one of the most passionate things we like to talk about because it truly set us free. I thought I had all these mental problems. I thought I suffered so much from obsessive and compulsive thinking. I thought I was severely depressed.
Oh, no, you definitely don't. If you're super into Jesus and feel the need to pray for 2 hours a day every day, no OCD factor, no depression factor, No mania factor whatsoever. You're fucking nailing it.
All the things the doctor told me that I was never going to get better. Tell me why when I lay down my life and lay down the sin, my mind is free. I don't have tormenting thoughts. When I laid down the sin,
you just replaced it. You just replaced it with something else and are now getting high off of your moralistic position. You replaced it with something else that makes your ego feel better, and your ego is taking over your entire fucking brain.
I was free. I'm not in bondage anymore. And that wasn't by my own strength. That was Jesus when I...
Yeah, because he filled me up.
I fully...
And I'm not in bondage. Sexual sin will kill you.
Got down on my hands and knees. I'll never forget the day. I looked up, I said, I need your help.
This is a bit.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on the podcast. I'm in my Bible. I'm praying. But there was that one thing that I didn't lay down. And why did I have no peace? I had no peace. I still had chaos in my,
this guy's listening so fucking hard.
my belly and in my mind. And so I knew sin was staring at me in my face. And as Christians, when we know Jesus and we know his word, we cannot have one foot in and one foot out. And we just talked about this with Philip. You cannot be walking with the Lord, but be living in habitual sin.
Yeah.
Like what?
You guys didn't.
What did she even put away? She's so intense. Obedience through suffering?
To know his will and to know the obedience, it takes relationship. It takes worshiping. It takes sitting in the secret place. There's so many things that
What the fuck is the secret place? I went to a lot of churches and youth groups growing up. I never heard about the secret place.
I should have done, but I didn't because I sat and I stood still. And that's what I love about this story is they stayed quiet. They stayed silent till they were ready to shout. You know when you're ready to shout and to move when God tells you. And the way to hear God's voice is to sit. It's intimacy with him. That's how we become obedient. It says Hebrews 5 verse 8.
So, okay, this is definitely like fetish shit. Come on. Come on. In intimacy to fill you up?
Even though Jesus was God's son, he learned obedience from the things he suffered. And so if you are in a season of hard times, heartbreak, delay, you can't break a habit, take it as a blessing because it is in those moments of suffering that you become hungry and your eyes open, and that's where dependency flows in and you cling on to Jesus, and that's how you learn obedience. I know suffering can be so hard sometimes, but it's in those moments where you keep going, you keep saying yes in the moments where you just want to keep saying no, you keep worshiping in the moments where you can't even lift your head off the pillow, and in those moments that's where we're refined and purified, and that's when the breakthrough happens. So if I can just tell you one thing, do not give up. Do not stop being obedient. Do not stop worshiping him. Do not stop crying out. He sees you, he hears you, and his promises always remain true. So just keep going. To know
This is so dangerous. Yeah, on top of it being like weird and culty and like horny for some reason, it's also horrible advice. It's also like really fucked up. Do not look up the Collins kids family. Wait, what is that? Is that them? Or is that not related? It's all really bad advice. Moms need the secret place. Sharing in suffering and glory. You have to spend time with Jesus. Are you codependent? You should only be codependent with God, obviously. Let him work on your heart. And then they bring on this like weird Australian woman. Who the fuck is that? It's like her guest or something. Their guest. Found a YouTube short that shows their recent live event audience size. What are they doing here? What do they do with these?
Hi, I'm Ange, and I'm Mari, and this is Girl Scout. This is the thing about church and faith and Christianity. It's actually more simple than you think. Read the Bible. I'm done with your depression. I'm done with your suicidal thoughts. I'm done with your disordered eating.
I'm done with it. I'm done with disordered eating.
Why don't you bring this potato?
Mom, you're always trying to give me
Pretty
potato.
big.
I need something for show and tell.
Why don't you bring this potato? It's pretty big.
I'll be right back.
Why don't you bring this potato?
That's a good tall Bart. That's a good one. God, I don't want this anymore. Oh, Pringle Boy sent this in earlier. What is this? It's pretty big. People were saying this guy got, like, clowned on.
The exact same thing that so many of you liberals have been throwing into my comments lately. That being, he should have just complied.
I'm peeing. I'm sorry, I'm peeing. I'm peeing. I can't stop peeing. Yep. I'm just starting a winning list.
How they comply and work for it? You should really listen to your own advice.
That was him? He was apologizing?
Yep. I'm just starting a winning list.
How they comply and work for it? You should really listen to your own advice.
That's crazy. He's so sorry to the officers for pissing himself. I mean, there's bootlicking, and then there's just having a fetish for being, like, submissive to the police.
That being, he should have just complied.
It's that guy. It's the guy from the beginning saying he should have complied about some other shit.
I can't stop peeing. Yep. I'm just starting a winning list.
How they comply and work for it? You should really listen to your own advice.
I mean, did he get tased or did he just piss himself? I'm sorry, officer. Like, God. No shame. Alright, enough with this fucking goofy shit, okay? There's so much to catch up on. So much fetish content. This is Binkers. Yeah, true. I gotta move on. Dan Bongino.
President Trump.
Dan Bongino apparently posted a cryptic message about FBI findings saying, "I'll never be the same." Probably nothing.
Trump is in Scotland today as he celebrates the opening of his
And
new
of course, Trump is golfing. Trump is golfing. It's Saturday. Trump is golfing. Of course. It's Saturday. The sky is blue. Trump is golfing.
golf course. He is also expected to meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on this trip to talk trade and possibly weigh in further on the war in Gaza after telling Israel yesterday to, quote, finish the job. Former U.S. Ambassador to NATO Kurt Volker is here to discuss. But first, we go to Lucas Tomlinson at the White House with the latest. Lucas.
Well, good afternoon, John. President Trump enjoying some links golf at his club in Turnberry, Trump Turnberry in Scotland, ahead of his meeting with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, where no doubt trade will be on the agenda.
He said what? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a fucking monster, dude.
Although, of course, that was one of the president's most successful trade deals to date, that 10% tariff on the United Kingdom. The president...
Trump to Israel, finish the job. That's what Trump said. He's been saying shit like that. Here's Dong Bong Dingo's full post. During my tenure here as the deputy director to the FBI, this sounds like he's resigning. I've repeatedly relayed to you that things are happening that might not be immediately visible, but they are happening. The director and I are committed to stamping out public corruption and the political weaponization of both law enforcement and intelligence operations. It is a priority for us. Bro, your boy's the league. My tenure of 6 months. But what I have learned in the course of our properly predicated and necessary investigations into these aforementioned matters has shocked me down to my core. We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. Obviously, everything is going through the White House. Like, Trump would have known he was going to post this before he posted it. I think this is prepping for what they are going to release, because as we'll cover later, Trump's personal attorney and top DOJ official went to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell one-on-one after her trial was already concluded. Nothing to see here, of course, but she did apparently give up some names, and those names are going to be very selective. He waited till Trump left the USA to post, though. That's true. I don't know. I can't get in this guy's fucking tiny mind. But I think it could be coordinated. I mean, he's talking about working with Kash Patel, and he's the one who's been protecting Trump from the beginning by not even allowing the FBI field office in New York to give access to the DOJ to their files. Also, my centrist father thinks Palestine deserves everything, and casualties in war are inevitable, and Israel has never blocked aid. Israel arrested an aid ship illegally in Egyptian national waters, breaking international law and violating Egypt's sovereignty today. Literally, like 6 hours ago. Also, casualties in war are inevitable is literally coward speak. That's a fucking admission that you have no idea what is actually happening, and also no idea that international law exists. FCC head said we have state media today, so it's definitely White House approved. Trump's FCC chair, he says he will put a bias monitor in place that will report directly for Trump, or directly to Trump, as part of the deal for Skydance to acquire CBS. What the fuck?
We heard a little bit about what they're going to do different on 60 Minutes. Is there anything beyond that that you could tell us about what they're going to do differently, fact-based? That's kind of a cultural shock to them. It's going to be.
Yeah, it might be news to some folks over there. One of the things they're going to have to do is put an ombudsman in place for 2 years. So basically a bias monitor that will report directly to the president. So that's something that's significant that we're going to see happening in broadcasters.
We heard a little bit about what they're going to do different on 60 Minutes.
Jesus.
Is there anything beyond that that you could tell us about what they're going to do differently, fact-based? That's kind of a cultural shock to them. It's going to
kind of a cultural shock to America. Well, fuck, man. That's awesome. Gonna have a bias monitor, just making sure how biased everything is. How a fake news checker. Ugh, it's just so obvious. It's so blatant. Is anyone gonna do anything? Does anyone care? I don't know. I don't know. I care, but there's only so much I can do. What percent fake news everything is? Yeah. Which CBS? 100%. Wouldn't you believe it? Like, Israel literally kept murking less radical governments to then manufacture consent to do the ethnic cleansing more openly. Yeah, this has been a plan since Israel's inception. And they're not even, like, fucking quiet about it. It's out in the open. They voted to annex the West Bank. Like... Anyway, let's finish this. We're going to conduct these righteous and proper investigations by the book and in accordance with the law. We're going to get the answers we all deserve. As with any investigation, I cannot predict where it will land, but I can promise you an honest and dignified effort at truth. Not my truth or your truth, but the truth. God bless America and all those who defend her. Respectfully, Dan. Bullshit, Baldy. I told him about the Freedom Flotilla ship, and he said it was AI generated. Another reason to hate AI, as it gives cowards a last resort when you provide evidence. Yeah, that too. But also, yeah, you're just a fucking idiot. What, he thinks the videos of the people, the American citizens, looking at the camera and being like, "Hi, I've been kidnapped by Israel on the Gaza aid ship. Please pressure my government to release me." That's fucking AI. That's ridiculous. Your dad's a fucking moron.